we've seen their shows, we've seen the games, we've seen E3. Who comes out on top for 2017? What's up, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. I've got Jake to my left, Gabe to my right. We all were at E3. We all watched the spotlight. Heck, we all watched all the press conferences. And now we're here to debate and decide who won E3 2017.
It's a close one.
It is a close one. It started off seeming like it wasn't going to be close, but then we have some contenders that really worked their magic and I feel delivered excellent lineups.
I have a question. Do you want to just dismiss the ones that are not contenders whatsoever?
Well, before we even get to that,
okay,
no spoilers.
All right.
We're going to let's focus on Nintendo.
Okay, Nintendo.
That's our bread and butter, so let's talk about them.
It is my lemon and salt.
Ooh, that sounds like a real...
It's a great combination.
It's a strange mixture. Do you put it like on your lips?
You don't put salt on lemon?
And just eat it?
Yes, you've never done that?
Yikes.
Oh, God, you're missing out.
All right. Limes and salt?
This is for Lime Force, another channel.
Beautiful. So, Nintendo. They come out. They say they're going to focus on 2017, and they do. They deliver the lineup as promised.
Except that they don't.
Well, right. So they do. But they deliver the lineup they promised, right? They deliver Fire Emblem Warriors. They deliver Xenoblade 2 in 2017. They deliver Super Mario Odyssey in October. They deliver, it wasn't promised, it was leaked, Mario plus Rabbids in August. They delivered Pokken Tournament in September. And then they expand beyond that with 2018 announcements for a Kirby game, for a Yoshi game, and then
there's one more thing. We forget what it is. It's so small.
Two more things, kind of.
What? No, I was making a joke about Metroid just being.
Metroid
yeah, but there's two more. There's no. They also said that they're working on a Pokemon game. They didn't show anything for it, but that's like another big game. That's like a brand new Pokemon game for Switch that's coming out eventually.
Right. So they've got the Pokemon title coming. They've got the Metroid Prime title coming. They've got Kirby and Yoshi, which are, I'm assuming, first half 2018.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. But you forgot to mention the second Metroid game that's coming.
Right.
All the 3DS stuff
was announced post-Spotlight in the Treehouse, but we're still going to kind of count that as part of their show.
Yeah.
So they come out with the Metroid 2 remake for 3DS, Metroid Samus Returns.
Not the Return of Samus, as it used to be called.
The Return of Samus. Now it's Samus Returns. It's been flipped upside down. It looks great. The
Yeah.
early impressions are that it's awesome. And then they also brought in the Amiibo, right?
Yeah.
Some announcements there. And they brought in one more 3DS game, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, which is a re-graphicked version of that game with an added side story where you control like a Koopa-led gang of crazies. Or a Goomba-led gang.
They put a lot of stuff into 25 minutes.
They did. They used their 25 minutes well. We didn't even mention the Zelda DLC. A little bit more info on that.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Amiibo, but very cool Amiibo to accompany that. In that case, as well as Metroid, man, they knocked it out of the park with the Amiibo. I think they all look beautiful.
And apparently the Metroid one is squishy.
Which one? The shot glass one? The one that looks like a broken Metroid?
Yeah.
That's squishy?
The Metroid, like yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Jake, this is your segment right here. Nintendo gets extra bonus points because what games did they barely spend any time on that we were worried they would spend too much time on?
Well, we totally forgot about Rocket League too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rocket League is
huge. Like it's a small game.
Coming this year?
It's a huge multiplayer fun game that's perfect for the Switch. But yes, what you were referring to earlier is they spent no breath on ARMS or Splatoon 2. They mentioned them along with FIFA and Rocket League at the very beginning, and they spent a little bit more time on Rocket League later. But they just said, here's a couple games that are for Switch already coming out very, very soon, and then here's what's up after that.
Can you turn me up a little? Yeah, I just noticed What's up, everybody? It's Zach. Look, these are mine versus you guys.
Oh, we're gonna equalize it.
And it will fix that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I thought that was excellent. Like, you see ARMS, you see Splatoon right in the beginning. I was like, is this a sign of things to come? No, they're only shown there. And the very, subtle but non-subtle, just Rocket League right at the beginning of the spotlight. That was so cool because we were, then amped up right from the beginning. Okay, there is more than we thought. One thing I did think was interesting, well, two interesting omissions. No VC, as Gabe predicted, and no indie reel, like you predicted.
Yeah, and no, interface updates with themes or anything like that, which wasn't a huge thing, but they didn't spend any time on the Switch at all. It was all just games, game.
Well, the thing about those omissions in particular, whether it be the services of Netflix and Amazon, no mention of that stuff, even though Reggie has confirmed that they are coming at some point, is that they can at any point throughout the year, especially leading up to the fall, just say, hey, there's a direct tomorrow focusing on services or focusing on virtual console.
Or they just drop
that stuff. Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. And truly, I don't feel like those things are worthy of E3. Like leave E3 for the big games such as the new Yoshi, Kirby, Metroid, like all that stuff. Pokemon mentioned, they packed 25 minutes, very 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 like tight. They wanted to focus on the Treehouse stuff. They did a lot of cool presentation. They had new Mario levels that weren't shown before. One, right?
In the treehouse later on in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. So
and they greatly expanded on the game.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. The Treehouse, like they expanded on a bunch of these stuff.
Right.
Well, and another thing that they showed us things that we didn't know were coming. Metroid, Kirby, Yoshi.
That's huge.
We weren't really sure about them. We also know that they are for sure making a Pikmin 4. Smash Bros is gonna have to make some sort of appearance, whether it be a port deluxe or a brand new Smash Bros on the Switch at some point. So there's 2 more games that they didn't even talk about, but we know are coming at some point. And so they showed us, not like they aren't coming 2017 or anything, but they are new games that we didn't even know were in the making. Now we know that they are. Plus, we have these ones in the back of our head that are coming as well.
Well, I think there was only 2 conferences, 2 companies that showed stuff we knew, but then also showed stuff that we were like, nah, there's no way they could do that. The other companies were like, nah, they're not going to do that, but we kind of like say that and secretly cross our fingers that they do, and then they didn't. But Ubisoft and Nintendo both brought out things that we didn't think would be there, and then they really impressed. Ubisoft with Beyond Good and Evil 2 and a new IP, and then Nintendo with Metroid, and it's to a lesser extent, but that Pokemon commitment, I feel, really does calm down some of that fervor that existed a couple weeks ago.
They did it so calmly. You're just sitting there with a sketch pad. Like, oh, and by the way, we're working on a brand new Pokemon for the Switch.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Beyond Good and Evil 2, because there was rumors that was going to be exclusive to Switch for a while. Doesn't even seem like it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea about platforms, but with those level of graphics, I don't know. That was a super impressive trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's quite a bit about Nintendo and their offering for 2017. Let's kind of go and knock out some of the ones that we know are not going to even compete with Nintendo to see who wins E3. So I think right off the bat, the first press conference, although not technically part of E3, but we're going to call it part of E3, was EA. And they're showing, while Star Wars Battlefront 2 looked amazing and it plays brilliantly, I played it, I loved it, it's an awesome improvement, I think they're instantly out. They didn't really have anything new, anything exciting. They did unveil Anthem, but no gameplay.
Yeah, that came later. I don't even remember what they had.
A lot of fluff, a lot of like stuff about streamers and a lot about community, which is cool, but it doesn't really service E3 or service the games. They showed Need for Speed Payback, which is already announced. A lot of sports stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that we can safely say that they are not gonna crack the top.
No,
where Nintendo and Ubisoft seem to be.
Yeah, and then we know that Bethesda, while they had some cool games, Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein 2.
I like this conference a little bit more than you did, unfortunately.
But is it anywhere near Nintendo?
No. Just sheer volume, no.
Yeah, so we're going to toss it out. They have a lot of time on their VR titles and their re-releases, although they did give us Skyrim for Switch.
Yeah.
So that's some bonus points, but I don't think it's enough to put it at the caliber of what we're looking for here. And then Microsoft, with an Xbox One X reveal that kind of fell flat, I think.
Yeah. Out of the 3 of us, I don't think any of us are super into Xbox One X.
It's really powerful.
Yeah, but so are our PCs.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. And exclusive Xbox One games come to PC now, so I'm cool.
Right, and even if you don't have a PC, $500, and what are you getting? You're getting no exclusive games to Xbox One X. You're getting even just a couple exclusive games to Xbox in general, Forza 7 and Crackdown 3.
And Ori and the Blind Forest Game of the Year. I'm calling it.
Will of the Wisp.
Will of the Wisp, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They did. We'll give them credit for having a lot of cool indie stuff.
Yeah.
Tacoma, Ashen, that one, like the pixelated game, I'm blanking on the name, but that one looked really cool. The Last Night, yeah.
The Last Night looks great.
So they did have some interesting stuff there. Project Darwin seemed kind of cool. Oh, a big get for them is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. That's a big get for them, I think.
Yeah, but it goes back to the same argument. Like, I already played that on PC. I've been playing it on PC for weeks.
And you can totally play on Xbox One. And they did show Assassin's Creed Origins, which is a big get for them, and that's a nice showcase of Xbox One X. I got to play it on Xbox One X. It looks phenomenal in 4K. I think that's going to be a great game, a nice resurgence for Assassin's Creed. And then they had one of my favorite moments of E3, the Anthem gameplay reveal. That was a sweet trailer and a great gameplay moment.
That's like the best looking game of E3, like just visually it looks beautiful. Who knows if that's what the game's gonna finally look like when it comes out. And it's like a mixture of what are people saying, Destiny with Horizon.
Yeah, right? That's what it looked like to me. And it's like you do have that fear of, remember when we saw Bioshock Infinite for the first time and you're like, oh my, and then it comes out like a little bit lesser. Still a phenomenal game though, so if Anthem can pull that off, wow. But I feel like the fact that they didn't give us anything really brand new of their own, and the fact that Xbox One X didn't seem to really justify its price.
Wait, they did also show Metro.
Ooh, that was interesting. It's gonna be multi-platform, but that was
but it wasn't an
when
announcement.
we talk about it, their conference wasn't as bad as first impression. I think people are just let down that Xbox One X didn't deliver any like stellar new additions to the exclusive library.
Yeah, like Crackdown being like their big game for the year, like
They didn't even demo it.
yeah,
It was weird. And
it's playable though.
Sea of Thieves was pushed to 2018. State of Decay 2 pushed 2018. Nothing brand new. I mean, again, they did get to show off AC, Metro, and Anthem, but those are all multi-platform games.
Yeah.
And it's not even like they have specific partnerships like with Destiny and Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, Metro's technically brand new. Like we didn't know about that at all. That was a genuine surprise.
Sure.
I feel like there was one more during the Microsoft thing, but I'm blanking. Other than Metro that I really liked. Because I remember like in Metro, Ori, Anthem, there was one more thing. I can't put my
Crackdown, Assassin's Creed,
No.
State of Decay.
No. Well, I love State of Decay, but
State of Decay is a good game.
regardless, I don't think Microsoft was up there with Sony or with Nintendo. Or
Yeah, I feel like they're a nice mid tier. They had the opportunity, they just didn't knock it out of there. Sony had a really good show. They had a really big display. They waltz out, a lot of awesome sets and big fanfare for some big games.
the biggest games. Like if they told me, hey, you can only play 5 games that were at E3 this year, 3 of them are Sony at least.
They did have a really great lineup, and the major letdown with Sony is
Everything's so far off.
most of it's far off.
Even though it looks amazing.
Well, not God of War's not far off. I mean, it's sure, but early next year, not super far off.
Barring any delays.
Yeah, sure. The big bummer to me is Days Gone because that looks so good.
Yeah, it does look so good. And, when you talk yourself through the conference, I think the game lineup is so strong. Spider-Man, Days Gone, God of War, even stuff like Uncharted Lost Legacy. I mean, we're
Horizon
down,
DLC.
Yeah, we're downplaying a new Uncharted game that started as DLC and fleshed out into almost a full game.
Yeah.
And, they did have like Knack 2 and GT Sport. And they had Matterfall, a new game from Housemarque.
Mm-hmm.
They had Monster Hunter World, which was big for some people.
A lot of people, yeah.
They had they closed the big Spider-Man demo, which is a nice reveal. But again,
Pollen
2018,
and Poison is what I call Monster Hunter World.
2018, and no real big news surprise. I mean, the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Someone pointed out that they did a Shadow of the Colossus HD already.
Yeah,
so
this is
like,
different. Yeah,
this is weird.
Yeah, this is on another level.
It
though.
looks
This
really good, though.
Really great, like visually. Like,
Oh,
it
for
looks
sure. I'm just
pretty.
saying it's weird that they're like remaking a remake.
Yeah.
And no mention of Last of Us 2, which we
Well,
predicted.
Yeah, that's fine.
And no brand new thing from like Sucker Punch or someone of that sort.
Yeah, Spider-Man looks sick though.
Spider-Man did look sick. So it's really hard to dismiss Sony. They're up there for sure. I just feel like the fact that their focus, for the most part, is off. I mean, they have some stuff. They have Everybody's Golf, GT Sport, Knack 2, and Uncharted this year.
Yeah, plus
And Horizon
Horizon.
DLC.
And Horizon DLC. But I don't know if we can give. I mean, DLC.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like another addition to the story.
Okay,
campaign.
it's comparable.
It's not
to
like
Zelda
it's not like if
DLC.
it was like skins and weapons, then
Sure.
no. But it's like another like storyline.
like Zelda DLC.
Sure.
Okay. So they're up there. So they're in the conversation. And then Ubisoft. What did we like about?
Did we mention Detroit?
Oh, Detroit as well.
Yeah.
A game that's no date again.
Yeah, who knows when Detroit's
But it
coming?
looks great.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play it tomorrow.
Yeah.
What did you like about Ubisoft?
My favorite thing about Ubisoft had to have been Rabbids. Rabbids is cool. That's
Yeah.
where we got the big reveal.
Uh-huh.
That was the very first. They opened with Rabbids, and
Miyamoto.
yeah, I'm sold on Rabbids. Like I really am. I enjoyed what I played with it. Yeah, it was easy, but I feel like it's gonna get more difficult as we go on. Assassin's Creed looks really good. I saw your 4K footage on Xbox One X, so I'm excited for that.
But you won't be playing Xbox One X.
No, I'll play it on PC if it's available.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the ship game, I blank on.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones, like you guys got to play a couple multiplayer matches of that. That looked cool.
It's fun. I don't know how they flesh it out into a $60 product, but it's fun. And again, a new IP, you
Yeah.
gotta welcome that.
Far Cry, being a little bit different this time, the different setting, obviously in Montana.
Very controversial.
Yeah, so South Park, it might not be for you guys, but there's a lot of people that like South Park a whole lot. Yeah, we won't even keep talking.
Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink's the one that
I'm
It's
just
not for
curious
me.
what it is because they show you putting these ships and assembling them on controllers, and I want to know what the heck is going on.
You're like you can modify it in game, and then it's like a full in-ship shooter where you go to planets and like shoot monsters and
And
stuff.
I could see that
I don't
working
know
on
how well
Switch.
it is.
I could see that working on Switch with like the NFC, but how does that work on PS4,
Yeah,
Xbox
It
One?
like clips onto the controller.
You have to plug them into like something.
Yeah,
the
'cause-
bottom,
but
the chat thing.
Oh,
at the
maybe
bottom.
it's reading it through that somehow.
Yeah.
I applaud that just for the innovation. You know, we think of Toys of Life and it's just plop, stick a figure on a pad, and at one time Skylanders like let you like swap parts, but this is the first time you're actually like building something
And, yeah.
and putting it there. Like that could be cool.
I just don't know how cumbersome it is because it is on the controller while you're playing.
It's just such a weird thing. I'm just fascinated by it.
It's interesting that Ubisoft keeps trying new IP.
Mm-hmm.
Division, For Honor, like they keep it going, like with these like
Skull
and new
Bones.
franchises. Hopefully,
I do wonder if it is new franchise or if it's like we need to find
something that hits.
yeah, like okay, because you know Watch Dogs kind of came in and
Did super well, but
Did
then the
super
second
well.
one not so well.
but I think well enough to keep going. You know, they kind of like
I don't know if we see a Watch Dogs 3.
put Splinter Cell on the back burner.
Yeah, that's way in the back burner.
They said that like oh they haven't forgotten about it, but it's like how Assassins kind of phased out Prince of Persia, and almost like Watch Dogs phased out Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
It's I think like they're kind of looking for like okay eventually when Far Cry dies out, which one of these is going to be you know maybe the thing that phases out. But at least for this year, you know they are giving us AC Origins, and they are giving us Rabbids, right? That's kind of a duo, but it's from there, and then the big one is Just Dance 2018.
Yep.
Game of the year.
I'm dancing now.
Game of the year, no, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That trailer looked absolutely phenomenal. Interesting because some people thought that'd be a Switch exclusive,
For a little bit.
but the graphics that they came out with there,
I don't think it's coming.
I
to
don't
Switch.
think those are in-game graphics
No,
at all.
no,
That
it's-
was like a cinematic like movie trailer
Yeah,
that
but
they
still,
made.
like no, I don't think that game comes to Switch.
it looked insanely cool. It had an amazing vibe. It was almost like this very fun Star Wars like
I'd be okay if it was just a movie like that. It
Yeah,
was so entertaining.
that
and
monkey was
captivating.
crazy, and you know pig people are back, and I don't know when that comes out, but it was very good. And their conference was balanced because it had stuff for this year. Oh, The Crew 2 is also coming out this year.
Yes.
And they have like a steep Olympics
Yeah.
thing. And Just Dance and
They have a lot of stuff.
and then you know they and South Park is this year, and they go forward then you know with Skull and Bones, with Far Cry, and with Beyond Good and Evil and Starlink, and then Beyond Good and Evil also sort of fits the slot of like the surprise that everybody wanted but didn't think would be there but shows up. So they had a very fleshed out. And then if you look at Nintendo, you know it's very similar, right? Nintendo shows a lot for 2017. Nintendo shows some stuff for 2018. They also have a big megaton drop.
Two. Well, Pokemon Switch
Yeah.
wasn't a megaton, but it was a
Big.
big announcement.
And then I feel like the Metroid 3DS is a bigger deal
I'm excited.
than it got, you know.
Game Informer raved
fanfare
about it.
for.
Game Informer raved about it. They had such.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And I love those kind of games. I know you love that style, Jake, and obviously you, Gabe. So I think that's one that we're all gonna like be super on board with in September. And again, you think about like right after ARMS, right after Splatoon 2, right after Rabbids, then you're playing Metroid.
Yeah.
And then you're playing Pokken, and then you're playing Fire Emblem Warriors, and then you're playing Mario, and then you're playing Xenoblade. Like they really have such a strong lineup, and they may not have acquired the third-party awareness and titles, but their first-party stuff is so freaking good.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up between those three, honestly. Ubisoft, Nintendo, Sony. I think whichever one you want to give it to, it's preference based. You know, if you're more into Nintendo and their franchises, you're gonna give it to them. They had a big Metroid reveal. Like nobody expected like Metroid to be revealed. It was not one Metroid, we got two, right? So, but if you're more into like God of War and you grew up with that, you're gonna give it to Sony.
Do you think though that Nintendo and Ubisoft did more for their fans than Sony? From a standpoint of like, look, people, what is the one indie game people wanted on Switch?
Rocket League,
Rocket League, and they gave it to us. What's the one big announcement that people wanted on Switch?
Metroid.
What's the one big thing people would have wanted on 3DS? 2D Metroid,
Yeah.
right? Like they really did deliver, and I feel like for Ubisoft,
Except for Virtual Console.
except for Virtual Console,
And Switch has unspoken things. They didn't even talk about Monster Hunter. They didn't talk
True.
about
Well,
Pikmin
I mean,
and
Monster Hunter's what, August, right?
yeah, but I'm
Japan,
saying like
yeah.
they didn't even include it in their 25 minutes. Like they had a very succinct thing that just threw out a bunch of new stuff, a bunch of stuff we knew was coming, more fleshed out. And then there's the unspokens like Pikmin 4 still coming, and Smash Bros still coming, and Monster Hunter is for sure coming.
I
and
just
things
felt like
that.
there was a soul in Ubisoft and Nintendo with an ear to the ground that maybe Sony didn't have. Sony has a phenomenal lineup, don't get me wrong. And when those games all finally come out, it's gonna be fantastic. But we saw almost all of those games last year. and that doesn't take away from those games, but I think it
Days
does take.
Gone looks so good.
I think it does take away from the show.
Yeah.
So I think it's really down to Ubisoft and Nintendo, and then you gotta look and you gotta say like, is AC Origins a more exciting game or is Super Mario Odyssey? And like for me,
Yeah.
I gotta say Super Mario Odyssey. And then I say Beyond Good and Evil 2, like that's cool, but oh boy, do I like Metroid Prime way more than I like Beyond Good and Evil 1.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I look at it and I say like, for this year, right? They have AC, they have South Park, they have Crew. Nintendo and the Switch get Mario Odyssey, Fire Emblem Warriors, Rabbids, Pokken,
Xenoblade.
Splatoon, Xenoblade, ARMS still. Technically, ARMS is still post E3.
Yeah. By like 2 days.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I think it's good that like we kind of conclude with a top 3, and then you can kind of make your own decision. But it is nice to see that Nintendo's on the upswing. Like we've been very disappointed with them in the past with their E3 presentations, and this one now they're in top 3, potentially top 1. So that is a huge leap in my mind, at least.
So to answer the question, did Nintendo win E3? Kind of.
And
right?
maybe just for themselves they won.
Yeah, like there's nothing that matches Metroid other than Anthem.
They get the most improved trophy
Well,
for sure.
And let's add one more element to this. They have the most inspired booth by far.
Yeah, very beautiful.
And I know that that's not the biggest a deal, but it was a big deal for Zelda last year, and I think that really helped sell
Except
Zelda.
the carpet. I did not like the carpet.
You didn't like the carpet?
No, like
Not
the
soft enough?
No, it's soft. The colors, I don't like the
Oh.
patterns. Like, I don't.
Okay, so save for the patterns. Another booth that I think really brings the Switch and its games to life.
And Nintendo has peripherals and amiibos that people weren't expecting, and they're beautiful.
True, yeah.
I mean, it's a little thing, but still.
I think we have to give it to Nintendo because I think they did just as much as Ubisoft, but I feel like they did it in a way that I don't know. I just feel like they tapped into their fan base so well.
I will give them the most improved for sure.
And I feel like they're, if they can continue this every month game into 2018, like look out.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it. They didn't do this for Wii or Wii U, and they're doing it now. They really are. And even in the month where it's like, oh, Pokken is a September title, and I know it's a separate platform, but that Metroid on 3DS is a big deal.
It is. I'm gonna play Metroid before I play Pokken.
Yeah, that's a big deal. And again, Mario getting an October confirmation, Xenoblade again hitting home the point.
It's coming this year.
2017.
It's coming this year.
And like you're starting to see a variety. You know, that's one thing. Also, I feel like I'm gonna try to win you guys over here. I feel like Nintendo beats Ubisoft because a lot of Ubisoft stuff, it's phenomenal, it's great, it all kind of blends together. We're getting so many genres on Switch. Look at how different Mario Odyssey is from Xenoblade. Look how different that is from Fire Emblem Warriors. Look how different that is from Pokken. Look how different that is from Splatoon, from ARMS.
From Rabbids.
From Rabbids, right? They are really covering the entire gambit of video games here. And Mario
even
Odyssey...
some sports games in FIFA.
Yeah, we played.
And we didn't see NBA 2K. I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
I thought that was really weird that it wasn't there. Makes
Yeah.
me a little nervous, but that's another point, another video. But they really are covering this gambit, and I to me, like that is impressive. It's impressive when you're able to come to an E3, show some of the currents, show some of the future, show some of the far off, delight the fans, impress.
Another thing I thought was interesting is I was standing in line for Mario Odyssey, and I was surprised at how many people I heard talking about the Switch and saying they didn't have one yet. And they were like asking, like, oh, have you got any? Like, no, it's always been sold out, and I would try to go get it. And so they're drawing people to their booth to play their games who don't even have the system that the thing comes out on. So, like, they have, like, an insane amount of hype behind it still, and they had the soft launch in March. So, like, I don't know, I think there's something that speaks something like that they can get this many people excited about something that the people don't even have in their hands at home.
Right, and obviously, you know, it doesn't have the third parties that an Xbox or
You don't need them
PlayStation
this year
has.
though.
But yeah, you go to the store, if you get a Switch for Christmas and you get a gift card to get a game or something like that,
You have a lot of choices.
Mario Kart, Zelda, Mario, Fire Emblem. I mean, their biggest properties, Monster Hunter, Rabbids.
That'll be out. Splatoon will be out.
Splatoon,
ARMS
yeah.
will be out.
Xenoblade, right?
Yeah.
So many choices, so many options. I think that Nintendo wins, and that's such a shocker for me because they have not won in a long time. They have not won in a long, long time. And we woke up this morning with this conference expecting to see nothing new.
Yeah.
And they did it in 25 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, they had a treehouse afterwards.
Is it a
but-
good thing that it was 25 minutes though?
Well, I mean,
like,
they
I'd
had
rather
the
watch a
treehouse.
25-minute like tight conference than like an hour of nothing.
They really were. I mean, 2 Metroids, Pokemon, new Kirby, Yoshi. The only guy they didn't touch on was DK.
That boy is coming.
He's gonna come at some point.
Yeah.
The Zelda DLC, new amiibo. I mean, I think after all of this, it's time to say Nintendo won E3.
Okay. whatever. You won me over.
I won you over?
Yes.
Did I win you over?
I still give him most improved.
Which it's fine.
Did they win, though?
I don't know how you win E3. That's tough.
You win by capturing the hearts and souls of all
Well, I
of
mean,
them.
Mario can capture anything with Cappy, so
That's
I guess
true.
so.
Mario captures E3 with Cappy. Let us know who you think captured E3 in the comments down below, who you're most impressed with, and which conference you liked the absolute best. My voice is going. I'm going to save it for later. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being a part of E3 with us. We love you all. Oh, can't wait to get back and play more of Mario Odyssey. Very pumped for that.
I'm
And
gonna throw a hat at you.
please don't. You have a lot of hats, Gabe.
I do.
Maybe you can capture me someday. In the meantime, the Fourth Edge will keep the caps away, and we will say goodbye for today. For myself, Jake, and Gabe, thanks again. Make sure that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from Switch, us here at Switch Force E3, and the rest of those games as they release later this year. Until next time, Switch Force out.
Eat your veggies.